Hi, ladies. It's Doona here. Thanks so much for joining me for our prenatal yoga class. So, at least for me, throughout my entire pregnancy, I've had a lot of energy, and I want to say it's thanks to yoga. I haven't been taking any naps yet, crossing my fingers. Not that taking naps is bad, but again, I'm constantly moving, taking lots of walks, doing a lot of yoga. So I think that's really helping me to stay energized. So this class is specifically designed for that. But every pregnancy is different. So if you need to take that nap, go to sleep. All right. So let's go ahead and get started with your 2 blocks. And always grab your block or your strap as well. Okay. You're going to come into a comfortable seated position like this. Feel free to grab your 2 blocks and place it underneath your knees if you need a little support for your hips. Otherwise, make sure both sit bones are firmly grounded. You could also sit on a block as well if that feels good for you. Okay, so once you're in this comfortable seated position, you're going to sit up nice and tall. Close your eyes, relax your shoulders, and just come into this present moment. Letting go of all your to-do lists, letting go of your day, and just finding some stillness. Slowing down the breath here, taking this moment for you. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Then on your next inhale, feel free to gently blink your eyes open. Just going to roll out your shoulders here. Going to roll out your neck. Going one direction first, maybe speeding it up. Then going to switch directions. So like I mentioned at the beginning of class, movement has really been helping me stay energized and also tension free. So this class is meant to help you ladies get that same benefit. Okay, now bring your gaze back to center. Take a gentle twist over to the right, left hand on top of right thigh. Make sure to twist more from your shoulders rather than twisting from your belly. So open up through the chest. Good. Go ahead and switch sides, sitting up nice and tall, keeping the belly button in. Good. As you come back to center, right hand next to your right hip, take a nice side body stretch. Left arm over your head. Go ahead and switch sides. Sometimes all you need is a 20-minute yoga class, maybe a 20-minute walk to help you get more energy for the day. All right, coming into your tabletop position, hands shoulder width apart, spread your fingers out wide. Then you're going to flip your right fingertips to point towards your right knee. And then from here, just going to sway forward and back, getting more into your wrist, your forearms. A common pregnancy symptom is developing carpal tunnel. So if this is too much for you, feel free to skip it. This can also help you prevent from getting any carpal tunnel or wrist pain here. Good. Reflip your right hand, switch sides, point your left fingertips back towards your knees, rocking forward and back. This should feel really good. When's the last time you stretched out your forearms? It's probably been a while. We're constantly on our hands. Good. All right, go ahead and flip your left hand. From here, extend your right leg behind you. Bend your right knee, open your right hip, and make big circles with your right knee. Good. opening up through the hip. Good. Extend your right leg back. Extend your left foot slightly out. Then drop your right foot. So your left knee and right foot should be aligned. Left hand in line with your left knee. Stretch your right arm up and over for a modified side plank. To find that nice extension through your right shoulder, finding that nice length into your right side body, stretch your right arm over your head. Imagine you're pulling your right hand forward. Inhale. And then exhale back to tabletop. Other side. Extend your left leg behind you. Bend your left knee and make big circles with your left knee. Open up your left hip. Good. Okay, extend your left leg back. Pivot your right foot back. Drop your left foot. So this time, make sure your right hand, right knee, left foot is in the same line. Inhale, stretch your left arm high. Press your glutes slightly forward. Then stretch your left arm over your head. Good. Tabletop position. Step your feet back into your high plank and let's all meet in downward facing dog. Feel free to walk your feet as wide as you need. Lengthen your spine. Spread your fingers out wide. Inhale, lift your heels as high as you can. And as you exhale, bend your knees. Inhale to straighten your legs. Drop your heels down towards the floor. And exhale, hold in your down dog. Good. A few more times here. Inhale, lift your heels. Stretch out your toes. Exhale, bend your knees. Keep your spine long. Inhale, straighten your legs. Exhale, down dog. Good. One more time. Inhale, lift your heels. Bend your knees. Straighten. Back to downward facing dog. Gaze forward and then walk your hands, or rather your feet, behind your wrist. Bring your feet as wide as you need. Bend your knees as much as you need. Grab opposite elbows. Either sway your torso side to side or shift your weight forward and back. Good. Drop your hands. Walk your right foot to the outside of your right hand and step your left foot way back for your first runner's lunge. Right knee stacks over right ankle. Keep your left knee lifted and just start to rock forward and back here. Keep your chest lifted, spine is long. Come to stillness. Drop your left knee. Stack your left hand underneath your left shoulder and reach your right arm high. Gentle twist over to the right. Keep your hips down. Reach up a little higher. Good. Drop your right hand. Straighten out your right leg. Modified half splits. Both hands will be in the inside of your right leg. Lift your chest. Keep your right toes pointing up. Good. Rebend your right knee. Walk your hands forward. Either stay here in your runner's lunge with your left knee down. Option to drop to your forearms. Option to bend your left knee back and grab your left foot for a nice quad stretch. So you have a lot of different choices. Remember, there's no right or wrong. Do what feels good in your body. Release your left foot, drop your right hand, and step your right foot back. Let's come into child's pose. Big toes to touch, knees apart. Stretch your arms forward and relax your forehead. This is a good moment for you to come back to the breath. Good. Inhale, tabletop. And let's meet back in downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, walk your feet behind your wrist or wider. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine. And exhale, walk your hands over to your right foot. Fold over your right leg. Feel free to bend your knees a lot. Come back to center and walk your hands over to the left. Fold over your left leg. Come back to center. Point your toes forward, bend your knees, or rather, point your toes out, bend your knees for frog pose. Sitting up nice and tall. Press your elbows into your inner thighs. Open your knees. Drop your left hand over to the left. Inhale, stretch your right arm high. Open your shoulders. Open your chest. Good. Come back to center. Drop your right hand. Stretch your left arm up. Get the nice spinal twist. Chest stays lifted. Good. Come back to center. Plant your palms. Wide-legged forward fold. Keep your feet as wide as your mat. Setting up for our lizard pose. Step your left foot forward to the outside of your left hand. Step your right foot back. Bend your left knee. Drop your hips. Reach your chest forward. From there, rock forward and back. Remember, feel free to grab your blocks to place underneath your hands at any time. They're there for a reason. Good. Drop your right knee. Inhale, stretch your left arm high. If you're starting to feel overheated, feel free to take open mouth exhales. Feel free to skip a pose. Drop your left hand, straighten out your left leg. Keep your hips squared. Left hip back, right hip forward. Lengthen your spine. And feel free to bend your left knee. Good. Rebend your left knee all the way for your runner's lunge. Walk your hands forward so they're underneath your shoulders. Again, taking your layer, either stay here, drop to your forearms, or take a quad stretch. Grab your right foot with your left hand. Keep your left shoulder open. Release your foot. If you took your quad stretch, step your left foot back. And then let's go in and have a seat on your heels. Now, if this is enough for you, feel free to stay here. Otherwise, take your fixed firm. Heels to the outside of your hips. Option to sit on a block or two. Just make sure all 10 toes are pointing straight back, keeping your knees connected. If you feel any tension in your knees, skip this one. Come back to hero's pose. Sit up nice and tall. Relax your shoulders. And then let's just take a moment here to notice our posture. As we get further along in our pregnancy, most of us tend to arch our lower back due to a lot of weight in the front side of our body. So just taking this moment to slightly tuck the tailbone. Sitting up a little taller. Again, relaxing the shoulders. Taking notice of our posture again. Posture is so important to keep our lower back healthy, to keep our entire body healthy. Good. All right, let's come up to our camel pose, standing on top of our knees, shin bones parallel to one another. Hands behind your lower back. Slightly tuck the tailbone and press your hips slightly forward so the hips are over your knees. Now, roll your shoulder heads back to open the chest. This might be enough for you, and that's totally fine. So you're just finding that nice thoracic extension, finding that nice hip extension. If you like to go a little bit deeper, feel free to roll the shoulder heads back even more, open the chest, gaze up, and then maybe drop your hands towards your heels. You could keep your toes curled or uncurled. You could also grab your blocks and place your hands on top of the blocks. Keeping your chest lifted, hips over knees, holding for another breath. Inhale. And then as you exhale, hands behind your back. And then slowly have a seat. Good. So that's a deep opening heart posture. Taking this moment to slow it back down. Slowing down the breath. Good. All right, ladies. Let's meet on our sit bones. Extend both legs out long. So depending how far along you are in your trimester, your feet might be together, hip width, or as wide as your mat. So I'm in my third. I'm going to bring my feet as wide as the mat. Inhale, sitting up nice and tall. And then as you exhale, hinge from your hips and fold over. So always creating that space for your stomach. Avoiding compressing your stomach, so keeping your chest lifted. Front side and your back sides should always stay long. Keep pulling your sternum forward as you hinge from your hips, folding a little bit deeper. Good. Inhale, slowly rise. You're going to spread your legs as wide as you can. I'm going to face this way. Okay. So this time we're targeting more into the inner thighs. You'll still feel in your hamstrings. Make sure your toes aren't dropping down. They're pointing straight up. And then same action. Inhale, sit up tall. And then exhale, hinge from your hips. Again, keeping your front and back side lengthened. So you're not just rounding. Compressing your stomach. You're keeping it long. Either stay on top of your hands or drop to your forearms. Same action. Pull your sternum forward, lengthening through your back. Keep your toes pointing up. Roll your inner thighs up and back. Good. Inhale, slowly rise. Keep your legs extended out long. Drop your left hand on top of left leg. Inhale, stretch your right arm up and over. Keep your toes pointing up. Both sit bones grounded. Chin away from chest. Come back to center. Switch sides. There's a slight twist, so peel your left shoulder slightly back. reach over to the right. Good. Come back to center. Twist slightly over to the left and fold over your left leg. You might have to shorten, walk your legs a little closer to each other for this. Try to keep your shoulders squared towards your left foot. Good. Come back to center. And the same thing on the other side. Twist over to the right. Keep your shoulders squared as best as you can and fold over your right leg. Good. Come back to center. Supta Baddha Konasana legs, soles of your feet to touch. You could bring your feet as close to your body as much as you like. Inhale, sit up tall. And exhale, hinge from your hips and folds. Remember, keeping your chest lifted. I want you to gaze slightly forward, a little past your toes. Not too forward where you're crunching your neck. So the back of your neck should always stay long. Release your shoulders down. Stretch your chest forward. Good. Inhale, slowly rise. Meet me on your back. And we'll finish it off with happy baby pose. Stomp your feet up towards the ceiling, knees to the outside of your chest. Either grab for the outside of your feet or hands behind your thighs. Feel free to rock side to side. If you like to take anything else, maybe a supine twist, shoulder stand, hamstring stretch, figure 4. Feel free to continue on. But again, as I mentioned, 20 minutes is all you really need for a nice pick-me-up energy flow. So if you're ready to move on with your day, we'll meet either in Shavasana or come into your fetal position. Do what feels good for you in your pregnancy and your practice. Close your eyes once you're settled in. Let go of your practice from here and just stay present, even letting go of your breath. I encourage you to stay here for at least 2 minutes, taking the next 2 minutes for yourself. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for joining in. Namaste.